Hey everyone, Ethos here, part of MMOBomb's First Look. This week we'll be looking at Warzone 2. I've spent the last couple of weeks playing this new experience, which is part of the latest Call of Duty release, Modern Warfare 2, and I have some thoughts on it. So I wish to give you guys kind of a review feedback on how I feel about Warzone 2. So to start off, just to give you guys some context, a little bit of my backstory, I play a lot of Call of Duty, I play a lot of shooters, I'm pretty solid at them. I've gotten kind of worse as time has gone on just because I've gotten older. I can't keep up with these Zoomers nowadays, but I try where I can. And I think before this, I kind of gotten a little fatigued of Battle Royale games. I played a lot of Apex. I played a decent amount of Warzone, the first one when it came out. And I also played quite a bit of PUBG back in the day. Those are like a lot of the main Battle Royales that I played. Warzone was pretty fun from what I remember, outside of, I think the reason I stopped playing it was because at the time cheaters got way too rampant in the game to the point where like it kind of killed the fun, where almost every single lobby I ran into somebody who was cheating in the lobby, so ultimately I put it down. Now with Warzone 2 around, we're having stuff like the updated anti-cheat that was implemented late into Warzone's life time, and now it's in Warzone 2 Ricochet, as well as quite a bit of quality of life changes and some new changes to the combat pacing of the game. So unlike Warzone 1, which I felt was very fast paced, movement sort of mechanics or kind of glitches that people would use in order to manipulate Call of Duty's movement in order for them to like basically move faster and to get to places faster. This one, it seems a little grounded, a little bit more heavy and way more methodical than the first one. And I think that will turn some people off and that will turn some people on to being interested in trying this game out. I think for me personally, one of my favorite games of all time is Titanfall 2. But a lot of reason I love that game is the verticality aspect and the wall running. And considering that Modern Warfare never really had that, it was just more of people manipulating the slide to slide jump and do some other mechanic, little quirky stuff. It never reached to that level that I felt that like Titanfall 2 had as a mastery when it comes to movement in a shooter. This game kind of, it's a little bit advanced, but it's nothing really too crazy. I've always wanted a Battle Royale that was a little bit more methodical, similar to PUBG. I felt like since playing PUBG, there hasn't really been a BR that's really nailed that feeling that PUBG nailed when it first came out that first year. So Modern Warfare 2 kind of fits that. I would say it fits somewhere closer to PUBG a little bit, not super realistic, but it fits somewhere closer to PUBG than I would say something like Apex Legends. My recent example of with Apex is Warzone definitely has a higher TTK, quote unquote, the vector gun, I forgot what they call it in this game, but the vector gun can obliterate people really fast. Some people feel like the balancing of the guns in the game, some guns feel a little bit too strong. For me right now, I don't never feel like I die too fast, outside of, when I get hit in close combat, sometimes you feel like you can drop a little bit way too fast. Overall, I don't really have a problem with how the brand new pacing of the game is. I think it's something closer to like Rainbow Six Siege, and I like that because one of my biggest complaints and the reason I stopped playing Apex Legends because Apex not only had a longer TTK because of all the shielding and stuff like that the game had, but on top of that, the game had all these advanced movement mechanics that certain characters had access to that allowed characters to basically run faster, get to a certain place faster, jump a team faster. Apex has always had this issue of getting third-partied and getting fourth-partied. When it comes to Warzone 2, it's a nice breath of fresh air that at least this time around, there is none of that. So from all my entire experience, I've never had a situation where I've had really like 5 teams jump me simultaneously at the same time. Usually it's come down to at most maybe 3 teams, but that was just because we had a 1v1 team engagement, and then another team came and started attacking us like way later into the fight because we were taking a long time trying to kill the other team. A lot of the team fighting and like third partying happens in moderation, not to the point where it's infuriating. I will say, however, is that when it comes to the final circle, sometimes things can get a little bit wonky. The way they've changed the final circle where it's going to be moving constantly, and depending on where you are, sometimes you feel like you can get cheated, especially when you're in the top 5. Your placement's bad, or you just have an unfortunate part of the map, you can get screwed. So it seems like instead of like them reducing the circle and making it smaller and smaller and smaller, they probably do that at the very, very end if it takes too long. But for the most part, they'll try to move the circles and then reduce their size before, basically collapsing the whole thing to the ultimate end. When it comes to the gun customization, stuff like that, this is no different than what Warzone offers. The only difference this time is that they have changed the entire perk system, which I don't think I'm a fan of this right now. There's really no way that you can customize your perks, but I'm assuming this was done for the sake of balancing. So now you can't even select your perk package. You instead have to pre-select a couple of packages which do certain things. So you kind of have to play a role when it comes to this BR compared to be able to customize, your own loadout to that respect. There are changes here that are good for the game. For example, I don't really have an issue with footsteps. like I did in the first game. And the other side, there's other things that they did that just felt unnecessary. You know what I mean? Like, they made changes to the game, which I felt were like, was this really needed? Like, I don't think people were complaining about this. And it felt like they were just changing things just for the sake of mixing things up, where they were fine to begin with. The monetization of the game, it is free to play. I was able to play everything from the Battle Royale Warzone experience to even the DMZ, which is kind of Escape from Tarkov light experience. I wouldn't say it's as hardcore and as tactical as Tarkov is, but it is basically, if you want a casual experience of sort of like going in, grabbing loot, extracting, staying alive, running into other teams. DMZ can do that, but definitely not going to be a replacement for Tarkov and other games that are already established in that area. You can still play both of these modes completely free, no problem. And the only place you pay is really when it comes to the store right now is cosmetics. So if you want to cosmetically unlock, stuff from the battle pass, which you can pay for, now they've done this weird thing where it's not linear. It's kind of like a map, and you can move around the map and just grab the stuff that you want to first. So they kind of done, the same thing like I said before, changing something that really people weren't asking to be changed, but they just did it just for the sake of doing that. And you can also go to the store and buy certain things. I enjoyed the game so much, I picked up just one skin for my character. But for the most part, you can play the entire experience completely free. The question will be is when they add more skins, will any skins give a tactical advantage from a cosmetic standpoint? I remember in Warzone 1, there were a couple skins that everybody ran because they were really good or hard to see, especially in darker parts of the map. So we'll see if that situation has been resolved, and it's not going to be an issue when it comes to Warzone 2. There's also the Gulag experience, which they've, again, another update. They've changed how it works. There's now a jailer, so there's a guy who'll jump into the Gulag if it takes too long, if the two teams haven't finished each other off, and the jailer will try to eliminate everybody, or if both teams team up and try to kill the jailer, everybody goes free. So it's a little bit of a mix-up. Again, not something that everybody asked for, but hey, it is there. I think overall, that's really what this entire experience is. It's a little bit of a change and deviation from what Warzone 1 was. And if you were a huge fan of how the movement and combat loop and pacing of that game was, you probably aren't going to be excited about Warzone 2. But if you weren't a fan of how fast that game was at times, or the combat pacing of that game, and you want something a little bit more slow and methodical, more closer to the PUBG experience, this can be kind of like a PUBG light for you if you want a game that runs a little bit better and more stable and feels, from a gunplay standpoint, feels a lot better than PUBG does. And yeah, that's pretty much all my first thoughts for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Warzone. This is the new one, not the remaster and not the original 2000 and... Did it come out in 2009, 2008, 2009? I don't remember. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you've had a chance to try out Warzone or DMZ, let me know. Did you guys enjoy? Did you not? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. My name's Ethos, and this has been your first look. All right, peace out, everybody.